Hey YouTube, it's Rob. This video is geared towards the geologist or geology teacher or student or anybody who has formal training in seismology or geology. This video is for you actually because I've had somebody threaten me that they're going to bring a geologist to put me in my place. So this is what I want that geologist to see. And basically what it boils down to is that in plate tectonics there are plates and collisions and subduction zones, and what basically I'm showing is observable surface features that defy plate tectonics and any of its laws or rules or whatever. And I'm going to start out here with this crater in China and the Himalaya mountains. Okay, around this area we have subduction zones, um, according to plate tectonics. And what I like to point out is that we don't have subduction zones, but we do have recurring patterns of this crater. Okay, and I'm going to prove that they're recurring patterns here shortly, but I want to give you a breakdown though of what I see observably. And also I want to state that okay, I have not I'm not putting anything about the mineral types or stuff like that involved, with this. That's for later. Right now, it's all about the observable evidence. Like eventually, what I want to do is I want to see where fossils lie here and minerals. I want to put all that into this one day, but not right now. I'm starting out with the basics here. But observing this crater here, you can see that we've got marks that look like this crater rotating away. Okay, and here's it rotating. This is just, I want to point this out. The reoccurring patterns of this crater can be also found right here and here, and you can tell because they match the size and the width and stuff like that. Here, this looks just like it. Okay, they're everywhere actually. They're all over the planet. And the reason I'm claiming that they're all over the planet is because it is responsible for the surface features on this planet. There's a connection. And where I'm going to start this first connection off it is the furthest of the reoccurring patterns, which would be this right here. Okay, which is practically the opposite side of the planet almost. And in between here and that crater are a number of subduction zones. You even have the Pacific Plate, the Ring of Fire. Okay, everybody knows about that. So now I want to show you how this connects to that. As you can see, I have both places right here. And I want to show you this right here as it comes in. Okay, the cool thing about the truth is that it's the truth no matter how you look at it. Okay, I'm going to bring this up here, and you can see that these features right here, they already kind of line up before it even gets to where I'm showing you. Okay, now I want to show you that how they line up with the features as they come in. There's this land feature right here on India that also lines up with this, what looks like rotation. You can see this fills in here. You can also see that this right here fills in there. And the reason that fills in there so well is because, like I said, this is a reoccurring pattern of the crater in China. So all reoccurring patterns are going to line up because they all came from that crater. Okay, but as you see, I can line this up with this marking, with that marking, this with here. I can even move this over and show you how it lines up here. And it lines up exact, by the way. There's no maybe it does, or it's exact, because look at what happens when I line this up there. You can see the rest lines up exactly. Even when I bring it in further. See there? You see how that works? This is how the truth works. I mean, it just is the truth. And that's the problem for plate tectonics, because it's not accurate. So what happens when someone finds the truth and compares it to it? Well, one of them's going to fail. But see, like I said, the truth always supports itself no matter what. So what about the other? Now I've lined that up with here. Well, what about this area that this actually does belong to? How does that fare in this? Well, let's find out. This is that area. This is the bottom horn of Africa or whatever. And let me just show you something that's really peculiar about this. Here it is this way. Already you can see that the features are lining up. These are hard to see, but that's okay. It gets better. And they do line up. So if you don't think they line up, please go ahead and scrutinize them, because that just is going to work in my favor. But as you can see, this lines up. You can see this, what looks like the eye of a hurricane here, because basically that's what this is. This is a storm that created our planet, and then the overspill that created it. But think of this as a rotating vortex, and there's the eye of it right there, and here's this recurring pattern of it as it got larger. Okay, but let me show you how this fits into here. You can see there's a beveled edge here on Africa that seems to line up. You can see that this right here lines up. And then you got what this is right here. This is an electrical discharge. That's what that is right there. And that has a lot to do with the creation of this planet, or the surface features of it at least. Okay, but here's where it gets trippy. Because this is a vortex, if you imagine a vertical vortex in here rotating around, well, let's take a look at what happens when we rotate this Africa. Here's the opposite version of that. And like I said, this is the result of a vortex. So let's bring this in reversed, see what happens. It finishes off the picture, doesn't it? It certainly does. And I encourage anybody to scrutinize this to the extreme. This is called observable evidence. And right now, the observable evidence is supporting a vortex. You see this? This is what I like about the truth, is that it supports itself. I really have to do very little work here, actually, to prove my point. The truth does it for me. It's already done it. You can see that, right? And if you can't, you will. And here's that the other end of this right here. Oops. And now that right there is showing us the true angle that it came in. Oh, that's reversed, yeah. Okay. So this fits better reversed than it does the other. It fits both ways, so mind you, I just want to make sure that point's clear. It fits both ways, but one way obviously is easier to see than the other, and the reverse is that way. Smaller, bigger, bigger. Okay, you can see this fits perfect. You can see that this there's no this is not an imagination. These are lining up because they line up. Also, here's a far away shot so we can see as I go further up. I already know what this is, by the way. What you think are faults are not faults. See how that lines up? Every step of the way, this is lined up perfectly. There's no doubt about it. I mean, look. So this is a true accurate picture. You can see how it fulfills the markings behind it. Where it stops, they continue. I know exactly what made this. And so do the people that subscribe to me. Okay, so that's that. Here's the other end of that. Finishing off the okay. It's pretty amazing, actually. See how it still fits in? And then guess what these mountains are from? See how I line these up with the Himalayas? Imagine this swinging down, following the direction of these marks. You see that? See this? When that lines up with that, this lines up with that. Then we bring it up to here. And voila, you can see that this lines up too, right there. You can see that there's rotation involved just in the image. Look at that. See that? Okay. This actually lines up in two places, actually, believe it or not. If I put this here and rotate it back, it'll also line up there because they're sequences of an event that took place. And it wasn't that long ago, I can tell you that. But let's bring it back up here. And right off the bat, you can see alignments, right? This looks like if it was liquidy, right? This looks like something that ripples, looks like something was rotating. Look at the exact matches. These are opposite sides of the planet, remember? And you can see that this lines up and this lines up. As I bring it through, you can see that these ripples here are the same as these ones here. They're the same distance apart, they're the same size, same everything. You can tell that this even looks like this reversed, or even not reversed, but either way it's going to fit. See these, I call these like knuckles, this knuckle shape. That knuckle shape means rotation, right? You see it in vortexes. And this crater right here fits this crater exactly. It's not close or almost. This is exactly the same thing. See? Right here? You really need to look this for yourself to really appreciate the exactness of this. But it is. As this lines up here, this lines up here. And it's funny that some people will say that, you know, oh, I'm just imagining this. Then are we all imagining this? Because this is lining up. Nowhere can you show me that it's not lining up exactly. Over and over again. See how that I moved it and it fits again. It fits again because this is making it. So every one of these ripples is going to fit in here because they were made here. It's not because it's a figment of my imagination. It's because of simple science. Simple, basic science. See how that fits in there? How that fits there? It just fits. There's no getting around it. There's no denying that this is the same thing. See how this fits right there? This is my evidence, and it's solid, and it's observable. And you know, I have much respect for geologists and seismologists, and I'm hoping that they have the same respect for me, because if they don't, then they need to prove that this is not right. Look at how this lines up here. And while it lines up here, it lines up here. This isn't some drawing. These are Google Earth images, satellite images. And they are accurate. People have tried to tell me that it's not accurate. Well, if they weren't accurate, this wouldn't be matching up so good, wouldn't it? But it is matching up so good. So that means it's accurate. See how it keeps fitting? Okay, this is going to be part 1. Part 2 is even better. I know geologists will appreciate part 2 because I'm about to show how the Mid-Atlantic Ridge fits in here too. Okay, let's back away and take a bigger look before I turn this off and do my next part. Look at over here. You see that? These line up. And if that's not good enough, I can rotate it and make it good enough very easily. But you can see that other things line up while this is in this position. So I'm having a feel. I feel that this is actually the way it was sitting. So, and if you might start to get the impression that there's a spillover happening here, because that's the impression I'm going to produce here. You can tell that this is spillover. You can tell that this is the lip of a spillover. This is not from collision. This is from electrical. This this design is made by the high temperatures of electricity. And all you got to do is take a close look at it to know that that's true. This is the end of part 1.